Right, so far so good. Your week, right? Tomorrow is a public holiday in Malaysia. Huh? I'm not sure about your other class. I think some of maybe your class is cancelled tomorrow, huh? So luckily our class, or unluckily our class is on Monday, so we don't have any need for cancellation. Okay, so last week we did constraint layout, right? Halfway done. Huh? We haven't finished the layout. And then we also that app that we did last week, the color my box. Remember, color my box. We do constraint layout. Later we will continue to complete it, and then we'll add in some activity there. Huh? The activity code, meaning the logic, program logic, right? The logic for the layout, right? So you have to differentiate between the two. So whenever you do an app in Android, you need to draw the layout first. Layout is the XML that define the look, only the look, huh? How it looks like. It's like when you do website, you have HTML. So XML is the one that we use in Android to draw the layout. And after that, we put in some program logic. Huh? When you click a button, for example, when you select a menu, right? What happens? Also, what happens? You have to define using Kotlin or Java code, right? So before we get into the practical, let's also discuss a little bit about the assignment, right? Give you some airtime for you to voice out if you face any problem or not on the assignment. I've just updated this file, assignment 1, right? This can be found on Moodle. This file, you can find it on Moodle. You can find this file on Moodle page, right here, this one. I've just updated slightly with a marking scheme, right? A marking scheme so that you have a better direction on what you are supposed to do when you do your mockup, right? So maybe one of the frequently asked question is, do I do a wireframe or mockup, right? So try to aim for the detailed mockup, right? If you want to do a wireframe, can also, it's optional. You can have a wireframe before you do a mockup. Mockup, we also call it prototype. You can call it prototype as well. Right, so you can use software such as Figma, right? Figma or Just in Mind, or I recommend you a few Adobe XD and so on. This is a group project. So far haven't had many people come to me yet, right? You have some basic feature to draw, right? Basic or core feature, core features. These features has to be there if you want to develop this app. So the core features to draw, and also bonus feature. Maybe you want to add in additional feature or anything that you think is appropriate based on your innovation, right? So contact tracing app, more or less the same in most places, but some places they have additional feature. For example, you can maybe make a complaint, right? Let's say you want to snapshot somebody doesn't go for quarantine, and then you can make a report, lodge a report, something like that. So that could be an additional feature that you want to add in to your project. But make sure you can implement. So you may use one of this software, right? As I said earlier. So far we have set the tentative deadline to be on the 30th. So it's about 2 weeks from now. So next week, next Friday, next Saturday, actually, next Saturday. So later on, I'll give you a form, Microsoft form for you to submit. I'll put it here. Later on, I'll add it to this file, and then I also announce it on Teams later, and also on Moodle. Sorry. I think no need the form. I think I use the Moodle for submission. You submit to Moodle. I'll create the link for you to submit to Moodle later. Right? You can submit by as a Word document, right? Make it into a PDF. So please explain. Please explain your rationale behind your design. If you can, right? Explain. Many of you will do the navigation also, right? So the drawing of one screen to the other. So please explain as well, right? Your rationale, just briefly. No need to do it too detailed, right? Just briefly on your design reason for your design, your color, the choice of color, choice of font, choice of color, font, and maybe the sizes, the shape, and so on, right? So that you design, and then you explain briefly. Huh? So maybe we'll do a session next week on material design. Huh? So the reason why we do all this, we need to do need to actually refer to material design. Let me show you. Right, material design. Sorry. Accidentally click this one. What is this? Okay. Material design. No, material design. So this is Google material design. Actually gives you all the basic reason, basic guideline for you to actually design, right? Every aspect of the app. Right, so includes, for example, let's go to the here. Includes the layout, navigation, color, typography, sound. Sound most likely is not going to be relevant for this project, right? Typography means the font, the choice of font. Iconography, the choice of icon. Shape, right? So normally you have a lot of rectangle, square, and then we use cut view. Later on, we are going to talk about that cut view. And then shape, motion, interaction, communication, machine. Okay, these are some advanced topic that is not so relevant to our case. Right? Mainly you can look at layout, navigation, color, typography, iconography, shape, right? This few topic that is relevant to your mockup design, right? We don't have enough time for us to go through all these topics one by one and then later on do presentation. Supposedly, if I assign you a assignment, you can actually go through by team all this, but because the team is too big, 50 over students, currently I have 56 students, right? To do that is too much of a hassle. So I would like you to self-study, right? This is a very general principle, right, for designing a mobile app, not just for Android, right? You can apply this to web design also. You know, web design, you have frameworks such as Bootstrap. Right? Bootstrap was also designed based on some of these principles, right? So layout, navigation, color, typography, iconography, how to design your icon, and then shape, and then so on. The rest is not so important, this communication, interaction, motion, right? Because your app doesn't involve that. Okay, so in order for you to do the layout, one thing that you can think about is how to break down your app, right? Because when I ask you, I list it out. Actually, I list out your project. I list it out as a list, right? So when you want to present your project, right, the structure of your project, the navigation structure, right? Listing may not be a good way to present, right? By just listing. So what you can do is you can actually consider to use a tool, software tool. For example, just a tree diagram, or we call it a word breakdown structure. So you can use software such as this Visual Paradigm for free. Right? You can log in, you can use it for free. A software that you can draw. Okay, let me show you quickly. You can use any software, a lot of this kind of software for you to draw diagrams. Visual Paradigm is one. If you want to use it for your assignment, by all means, please use it for free. Then you can register, you can log in. I don't know about China, whether you can access or not. I use Google email to access. Okay, so you can go to your, let me see whether I didn't do anything yet. Okay, let me start a new. Okay, so it's a work breakdown structure. So you just search for work breakdown structure. Right, it is a way for you to think of your structure, because you have many screen, right? Many screen. So you have to categorize them, right, as to which category they belongs to, so that you can group those screen together. Later we can use a navigation structure to link them together. So you may have a dashboard, on the very top level, you may have a dashboard. Okay, so let me just quickly show you, demo you something. Okay, cannot come out. Oh, okay. Okay. How come? How to use? I think it's not ever. When I click on it. Oh, okay, can already. Just now, I don't know why. Okay, here, right? This is an element. Okay, so you can call it your app, right? Mobile contact tracing app. Huh? So in our feature list, right? You have scan, right? You have a scan, right? Scanning is one, QR code scan. It's one feature, main feature, right? Main feature. So involves, right? QR code scan also, you have something relevant to QR code scan, which is to have your, for example, your check-in history list, right? So you can link them together, right? Link them together, this app will be here. So you can move it here. Or you have only one. Okay, so you have another main feature, right? For example, user, right? A user. So user, you have something called sign up, right? Sign up or register. So you can link them together, right? So here you link them together, right? So you have two main part already, right? User part, you have sign up, you have sign in, right? Sign in. You can use this tool actually. This is just one of the many tools that is useful, right? You can just link them together. So, right, something like that. Let's draw one more time. Okay, like, all right. So you have something called profile, right? When user have registered, they have a profile page or profile screen, and then you can allow them to edit profile and so on and so forth. So you can have edit profile, which is part of it, right? Edit profile. Right, so this one is a subset. This is the parent of this, right? And this is the parent of this. So when you design your navigation, then you have an idea. And then, of course, this is not the only one. Then here in the user side, you may have password, change password, right? Change password or reset password, right? Reset password. Let's say you have a reset password screen. So reset password is part of this user. So you have this. And then the app, we have like statistics is another category. It's not part of this, right? These two, right? So you have something called statistics. Statistics. Right? Statistics, you can bring it over here. Then you can create this link. Right? So yeah, not nice. Okay, like that. Okay, the cosmetic is you can spend time to do lah. I just want to show you example how to do it. Okay. Okay. Right, so this is statistics. So statistics, you may have a few types of statistics, right? Your screen may have like global, right? China, Malaysia, and things like that. Maybe you show just some country of interest. Maybe this is China, Malaysia, China, and something like that. So then you can link them up together. Right, the one at the back here, delete. Okay, this one I forgot. Okay. At the back got one. Right, so this is maybe global, thing like that. So you understand what I mean or not? So it's a tool. I just introduce you to a tool. When you do a project planning also, project planning, you want to estimate amount of time you need to complete this project, let's say, right? QR code, maybe you need 1 week, check-in history 1 week. So here is already 2 weeks time, right? You can distribute your job more easily, like you are working in a team of 3, team of 2, right? So you can distribute your job to like one student take care of user, everything about user, you do it, right? And then another student take care of all the QR code scan and so on, the feature, sub features of QR code scan. Another student maybe take care of statistics, right? Of course, it's not just 3 main feature. You have something like some Q&A, right? Health assessment, for example. You have another one, vaccination, right? Vaccination is another subcategory. Vaccination, for example. So this one you need to have an idea how to plan it out, right? Otherwise your work will be very random. Random mean here and there, 这边一点那边一点. So you don't have a good, very clear direction of how much you need to do and how much you have done, right? So you can do, yeah, not nice. Let me make it nicer. Okay. So with a tool, it helps you to draw it more easily and nicer. Right? If you use Microsoft Word, also can. Just that Microsoft Word doesn't look so nice. This one you can arrange. And then I wouldn't draw everything for you. So based on the question, right? This is I do quite fast, right? Within 5 minutes only. 5 minutes almost. You give me another 5 minutes, I can complete. Okay, so my idea is use a tool, and then one of the tool that can help you a lot in deciphering this one. Otherwise, it's just a list. A list doesn't help you. A list is just a list that you don't know how many screen. You cannot see how many screen. So you have to think through, right? You can refer to a real app. On like Malaysia, we use MySejahtera a lot. So you look for how they actually structure. Where do they put the screen related to each other? So later when you do the navigation, you can link them up. So basically you need to at least have 5 different major category, major page, major screen later on, right? That is shown in the question. And then you can use a word breakdown structure to divide your job easily. So some of this is the major link. Let's say you have vaccination, QR code scan, user, statistics, and health assessment. Later, when we to design the navigation, let's say you want to do the navigation dashboard, then you have to have link to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least these 5. But how you want to do that link, you can use menu, right? Depending on your design, you can use menu, you can use button, right? Just some big button, right? Arrange it in a grid format. Or you can use a drawer, navigation drawer, and so on, which we are going to do later. So for now, you are doing modeling, you are doing design. So try to think about it and draw it out. Right, that is the main issue, task that you should do at this moment. This diagram, so-called word breakdown structure, WBS, right, can help you a lot. Right, any question on this? You may have other tool to help you. No objection to that. I'm okay with any tool. Just that use a tool that can help you to do your job better. All right, so this is called word breakdown structure. It's a very common used tool for planning, project planning. Before you do scheduling, you want to schedule how many weeks, how many days you need to do each of the screen. You can use a word breakdown structure to draw it out first, to break it down first until the most minor component, right? You can break it as detailed as you want. Like just now, you can break it down as detailed as you want. Let's say Malaysia, you want to divide by state, different states, right? Statistics for different states. If you want to have a screen for each of the state, then you need to break it down further. But if you put all the states in one screen, then it's okay, just up to Malaysia. Yeah, you don't have to break down further. So each of these should actually form a screen in your app. Each of the word breakdown unit, this is called a unit, should form at least one screen on your app, right? So later on, you see how to do that. Okay, so if the assignment 1 have no issue, right? Just a friendly reminder to you, 30th of April, we have still 2 weeks. So this is week 4, week 5, week 6, right? So sufficient time for 6 weeks to do the modeling. Okay, let's move on to Android Studio. Android Studio. All right, so last week we have done up to this. Where? Here. Last week we have set up to this. Right. So this is using constraint layout. I've given you a complete version, but don't look at the complete version first. So we try to do it step by step. Right. So we have to go a bit fast, otherwise we can't finish enough topic. Okay, so today, other than this constraint layout, later on, after this project, I try to rush a bit to introduce you another kinds of layout called linear. But linear is quite simple. Linear is very useful for you to do the form, right? You have sign in, sign out, right? Log in, and then you have register form, a screen for you to register. So that kind of screen, you normally will use linear layout, because it's arranged vertically, right? Very vertically, horizontally, and so on. Okay, so for this one, last week, just a quick recap, right? All of this you can just drag. You see the symbol looks like spring, right? Spring, it's like spring. You imagine it's a spring, and if you look at the attribute, you can set the margin here. The number here is the margin, the space between the object with the surrounding, right? So you can position your object with respect to the neighbor. So the neighbor could be another object, right? On top, at the bottom, to the side, to the left, to the right. So for example, these two, I didn't link them together, right? I link the box 4 to box 3, right? Don't do a cyclic one. If box 4 constraint to box 3, then box 3 don't constraint to box 4, right? Don't do a cyclic. Cyclic meaning 一个圈，不要出现一个圈don't come with a cycle like A depend on B, B depend on A, avoid that. So you always find something as an anchor first. Anchor 就是 you fix the position of one object first, and then you anchor other box onto that existing object that you have already anchored. Anchored means you already fix it there, right? So the main anchor for any screen is your parent. So who is a parent? The whole app, the whole screen is a parent. So let me show you, right? Anchor. So anchor means fix the position. For doing constraint layout, very important. You must always find somewhere to fix your object. 就好像你要绑一个东西，你只要绑在一个不会动的东西。那个不会动的东西可以是墙壁，可以是天花板，可以是地板。Right? So that something that is fixed there, cannot move one, is the best place for you to fix your object to. That is the idea of using constraint layout. You must constrain it there. Okay, so let's start to do additional. Once you understand the principle, it becomes very easy actually. Becomes easier. Let me show you how easy can it be. Right, so next one, we want to fix another box to the bottom. Okay, this project, we have it on Moodle. I forgot to say, on Moodle. If you finish the class already last week, you come to class or you didn't, then you can go to Moodle. Let me show you where is it. Here. So week 3, constraint layout color box. So you just download the complete one, and how come it's the complete one? Oh, okay. You shouldn't don't get the complete one. The complete one, yeah, already fully done. Right? Start from let me see. Oh, I forgot. I just give you the complete one. I give you the half cooked one, half done one now, so that you can have something to work on. Now, let me go to the code. Wait, hold on. I give you now. Don't use the complete one. The complete one is the final product, right? We don't want to use that. I send to your chat now. This one, so the one I sent to you, I upload one copy to. Oh, it's already there last week. Color my box. I send you again, right? You can download the half done one, huh? Half done one. Let me put one copy to Moodle as well. Week 3. Color my box. Right, so partially done. Yeah, partially done. We'll start from there. If you have got it in the chat there, you can get it. Huh? The chat there already there. I download there. I upload there already. This one a bit slow. Okay, done. I upload to Moodle also. You can get it from Moodle. Okay, so if you notice, I also added some additional sample code for Kotlin. We don't have time to learn Kotlin as a language slowly, everything, right? So I have some sample code that I did before for Kotlin, different topics, lambda, function, interface, inheritance, higher order function, and so on. You can get it here, many of them, right? Extensions, functions. So later on, when we come to this, when we do the coding, and then if we encounter some part of the project Android that needs to use certain of this language structure or data structure in Kotlin, I'll come back. I'll come back to this sample. If not, it's for you to self-learn. You need to take a bit of effort to pick up your Kotlin, right? Else you can use Java, right? But Kotlin is a new language. That's why I give you more references. Okay, let's start on the Android. Just now I give you the sample code already. Just open it up, sync it. Let's sync it, sync the project. All right, so now we want to add additional box here. You can just drag another text view here. So text view. Okay, this text view, you don't worry about where it should be, where it should be. So we just follow the same alignment, this one. We can name it differently. This one is text box. Let me see the name. Last week, we named them as text TV box 1, TV box 2, right? So this is TV box 6, right? So this box that we just draw, I just draw. Let's name it TV box 6. 6, TV box 6. TV stands for text view. TV box 6. And then change the text size, right? If you don't know the attribute, cannot find the attribute, just come here, size. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, this one, size, right? Text size. Change it to 24 SP, a larger box, a larger text, 24 SP. Right, you go to here. If you cannot find, you find text size in the attribute there. You cannot find, you use the code. Right, always know how to use the code, 24 SP. Right, why there is an error here? Tell me. Why is there an error? Because you didn't constrain. Text box means it's not constrained enough. It's not complete the constraint. Right, this box. So you can, now it automatic. You see, it constrained to the left, constrained to the parent. The left, nothing there, only the parent. So what we do is we go to the attributes. Right, you remove the search. Remove this search. Okay, so you see here, put it 16. Right, so it's constrained to the parent 16. Right, constraint out the layout on top, right? Just constrain it to the box 2. So box 2 also put 16. Right, you see, constrain very nicely, right? So the text, what do we want to put? Okay, we just put in some text. So look for text here, text view. Wait, how to play? Later we are going to write a simple app that you can play the app. Right, so how to play? Right, do you need to constrain it to the bottom? No need, right? You have, when you have two direction already, one is on the vertical, one is on the horizontal, right? To the top, you already anchored it to the box 2. Anchored meaning you already fixed it. So you have two direction already. Normally, two direction good enough, right? Two direction good enough, right? Two direction, one is on the left, one is on the right. And one is on the left, one is on the top, right? So if you look at the code, the top is called top, right? To bottom of another box. Very simple way to do. If you want to write the code, you can write. You can search for constraint top to bottom of another box. Huh? The start means the left. The left, you constrain it to the parent. Huh? Parent is the constraint layout. Parent is this guy. Right? You constrain to the parent. Huh? Okay, now we want to draw another box. Another box. Huh? So let's draw another box. Let's drag another box. Right? For this box, right? The text, we purposely make it smaller. Right? The reason is I want to teach another way to align it, the text. Okay, this box, we type the TV, 7. Text view box 7. All right, just name it, refactor. Okay, the box name, the ID is TV box 7. Right, the top, you can actually constrain it to the top. The left, constrain to the left, right? But don't do that, I don't want you to constrain it to the top and to the left first, right? So let's do something different this one, for this one. So remove the constraint, right? If you have already done the constraint, just remove, delete them. You can delete. Right? If you delete one side, you pull to the other side, right? The spring is there, delete it. Okay. So don't do that constraint first. Leave it there, right? So let's go to the code, right? So don't do this. Remove it. So we want to do something called baseline. You search for baseline, right? Constraint layout, constraint baseline, constraint baseline. This one. Baseline to baseline. What is it? This one. Oh, it's not under Android, it's under app. Sorry. Okay, app namespace. Layout baseline to baseline. Baseline. What is a baseline? Baseline means the text, the bottom of the text, right? Let's say these two so-called the text view. Okay, where is it gone already? Never mind, we haven't finished showing. The two text view, right? You want to align it on the same level, Baseline, we call it baseline. Irrespective of the height, because the height is different, right? One is 24 SP. One is 24 SP. Another one, we keep it as 16. Right? This one 16. 16 SP. So we want to see the baseline. Okay, baseline link to which one? Link to this one. This one. This text view. Right? The previous text view. Oh, sorry, I did it wrongly. Sorry. This is just now the Oh, this one is the name is not there. So this one should be 6. TV box 6. This one. So this is box 6 and then box 7. So baseline, we want to constrain it to the baseline of this TV box 6. So we put it here. Right? And on the left, right? On the left, this is on the vertical, the baseline. And on the left, the start, right? We actually constrain it to this box also. So what we do is constrain it to the box. Right? You can put in this to the box ID TV box 6. Right? And add in some margin. This one I use code to do. Right? You can use the tool also. Just to show you, you can use the margin start to put in 16 dp. Right? Put in margin on the left. So you can see it here now. How come? Oh, the layout is actually combined already. Oh, okay. I think I do it wrongly. This is not start to start. I did it wrongly. To the TV box 6 should be start to end off. The start of this current box 7 should be the end of box 6. So it should be like that. Yeah, now done. You see that? So both of them are actually aligned according to the baseline. Let me see. You see or not? If you click on one, click on this one, right? You see or not? The baseline. This is the line, the blue line, the blue color line here. This is called baseline. So it's aligned to the neighbor, which is box 6. This is box 6. This is box 7. Box 6, the start of box 6 is constrained to the end of box. So the start of box 7 is to the end of box 6. And the baseline of box 6 is also aligned to box 7 is aligned to the baseline of box 6. Right? That's why it's very tidy. It depends on your design. Right? Let's say this is your design. Right? You can use baseline to align them because they are not of different the same size. So if you still want to align them very nicely vertically, then you can use something called baseline. Baseline. So you can align. Okay, so the text, let's change it to click to play, something like that. Just some text to show click to play. How to play, click to play. Okay, now we want to also draw 3 buttons. So far so good, right? If I give you an overview here, you can see a bigger picture. We have boxes done last week. Then you can create a new box here. This box only need to anchor to this. Good enough. You don't have to drag this one. Because when you drag that one, you'll be gone. The spring will pull it aside. So please, once you anchored it already, don't draw the rest. If you draw the rest, you apply other force onto your text box. Right? You skew it again. So for this box, what you need to do is you just reference it according to this box. Align it baseline and also the start and the end. So you'll be good enough. Anchored here. Okay, now we want to do a few buttons at the bottom and spread them out nicely and with margin 16 dp to the border. To the border. Okay, let's just do that quickly. Okay, use the palette, right? As much as possible, the starter code, you use the palette to do. Box, button, right? Button, under button. You can drag 3 buttons there. Button 1, button 2, and button 3. Okay, these 3 buttons, we are going to add in color. The color button later on. So let's just label them, change the name first. Okay, the first button on the right, on the left, we call it red button. So for me, I always use BTN to represent button. BTN short form underscore red. So this is red button. Right, the label, the label I use red. I'll just change it to red. So red. Okay, the one in the middle I call it yellow. Yellow. So just rename it again. BTN yellow. So middle one put it yellow. Yellow. The label we put it as yellow. Yellow. And the one on the right we put it as green. Later we use it to label green. So BTN green. Button green. And then the label we name it to be the button label. Okay, it's not done yet, right? This is not constraint. According to the principle of constraint layout, you cannot leave it like that. It's not responsive, right? So you cannot expect the behavior of your layout if they are in this way without any constraint. So the first thing we do is which one has the better environment for them to be anchored? Is it in the middle? Middle, your left and right, you don't know how to anchor, right? Because this 2 is also moving, right? Moving. So the one in the middle have to wait for this 2 to be anchored first before you anchor this one. True or not? So the one on the left, you have 2 sides that you can anchor quickly already, including the top, the left, and also the bottom. Right? You can just set it 16 here and 16 here. If you do like that, then you anchor this one already, right? The top you don't need. For this case, you don't need to anchor the top because left and also the bottom already helps you to fix it. Right, good enough for you to fix it at that position, and it is responsive. No matter how the screen, right, change, right, it's already there. You know the 16 dp from the bottom, 16 dp from the left. You don't bother about the top. Let's say somebody have a very long screen. Doesn't matter. You're still at the bottom. So 16 and 16, right? So here the green one is the same as the one on the red color, right? It's just that it's on the right and also bottom. So you just set the value lah, here 16 and 16. So you also fix it already. These two you fix it already. So the yellow you can fix the bottom one. The yellow is in the middle, right? 中间那个，中间的左右你需要靠 red and green. You need to depend on the red and green, right? But the vertical one, you depend on the bottom. So you can add a 16 to the bottom. Right? So the left and the right, how do you fix it? You just drag this to here, right? And drag this to here. That's all. Just nice. Exactly in the middle. Exactly in the middle. The spring will pull it and you stabilize it in the middle. The bottom, you add 16 here. The left and right, you don't have to put 16 because it's not 16, it's more than that. You don't bother. How much DP, you don't know, because it depends on the screen, right? Screen size. So you let it be responsive, right? So you just need to fix the one on the left, the one on the right, and then the yellow, right? You just fix it to 3 direction. The top, do you need to drag? No need, right? If you drag, then you need to set the margin again, right? If imagine if you do this, to fix it to the top, right? You lose balance, right? You lose balance, you go to the top. So don't do that, right? Don't do that. You don't have to drag it to the top, right? Because your anchor is not to the top here. You don't bother where are they. Your anchor is to the parent, right? So you know it's always at the bottom, right? So this is how you do it. If you check the code, the code is generated for you. Button, all the constraint. Constraint to the left, which is the right. Let's start to the left. And now this is to the right. Green button, red button. This is the yellow button. And so on. Okay, understand. Understand how it is done. The principle of it. The idea of how to do it. 明白吗? The idea, Okay, so not different. Okay, now why we want to do that? Because constraint layout is elastic, is responsive, right? If you don't do that, you just fix the position. Next time when your user, you don't know the user, the screen size of your app, mobile phone of your user. If you don't, if you fix the pixel, number of pixel, the position, you fix the position. Then next time when somebody use a bigger screen or smaller screen than what you use today, the app will have different layout behavior. So you cannot expect what it will look like. It may not look exactly like what you want in the user phone. But if you do it elastically like this, using constraint, you actually behave, right? You actually stretch itself or string itself according to the layout of the user, the device size of the user. Okay, now let's change the color of this. These are the default color of button. How do we know this is the default color? You can check the themes. So all of us define some, when you create a new project, there is always a theme applied to your entire project. You go to the values, themes. Under themes, right? You have 2 files. One file is for night view, one file is for the normal view. So the normal view, look at it, the color is actually primary color. Button is actually applying primary color 500. This is the color. Primary, purple 500. So this value already defined inside your colors. 500. This is a color. So we want to override that. Let's say for this purpose. Oh, sorry. I shared the wrong screen. I didn't share. Just now, did I share? Did I share the screen just now? Did I share my screen just now? When I talk so much.
Got until the
okay.
button only.
Okay. Until the button, the entire button.
No. The color, when you start to say about the value there.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so this color, right? The color, why is it purple? The purple because you apply the entire theme, right? If you go to manifest, manifest is where you apply some setting to your app. The major setting is to the entire app. The entire app applies this theme. You can change it. So let's say this theme, color my box. This theme dot color my box, the style is actually can be found inside your themes here. Right, this one, style, color my box. It follows this name. So all of these items, the primary color and so on that you apply. Primary color, primary variant, color on primary, color secondary, color secondary variant, color on secondary, right? What are these? Later in a while, I'll show you. Okay, sorry. So all these color, right? If you want to change all the buttons in your app to some other color, right? You change this value. This value, you don't hard code. You actually define this value inside your colors, right? And then you link this color by the name. Is a key. You use a key, a variable. This variable, you link it to your thing, right? So all the button will follow this color primary. Let's say now in this case, we don't want this primary color for the app. This color could still be applied to other buttons, but for this specific button, these three buttons, we want to name it, we want to color it differently. How do you override? You can override each color button by following something called background thing. Background thing. You go to the attribute, you select the button, go to the background thing, background thing here, right? Then you can set your own color, right? So you can set some other color. If let's say you don't have the red color, in this case, it's a red light. This is a red color. So I want to define a new color called red. There is no red here, right? So I just define a red color. Red color RGB, R. So the first two, these two are actually the alpha. How opaque. Opaque, if you put 00 means it's fully transparent, right? FF is fully opaque. Opaque means the color is there, very sharp. So you want the full color, FF. And then RGB, right? R. So R is FF. The rest is 0000. So you get a red color here. FF00, okay, additional -1, right? So you get a red color. So you do a yellow. Okay, what is a yellow? Yellow is actually a combination of yellow, right? If you can't remember FF, yellow is actually blue plus. Blue plus yellow is what? How to get yellow? Okay, forget. Okay, Chin first. I put black first. Okay, so I go to the color picker and pick one. FF 000000. Let's say so I pick yellow. More or less this some combination of here FF. Okay, combination of EB 3B, meaning the green, some FGB, green and blue. Combination of some green and blue. So this is yellow. Let's say I want to create another color called green. Right, a pure green, pure green. So I create FGB, FGG. So the G will be, this is fully opaque, and then RGB, R0, GFF, and blue 0. So this is green, complete green, right? Complete green. Right, so I give you these three color. You don't have to create your own, just follow mine. I give you the yellow color. Yeah, the wait, I remove the formatting. This one. Right, these three colors you can use. You can just add it in to your colors. Right, so three colors. So now how to change the color of your button? If you just want to change one button, right, one button, don't go and change the theme. Because when you change the theme color, you change everything inside the entire app. So you don't want to affect the entire app. Let's say you just want to certain button, certain color. You can go direct to the button, this one. Look for tint, T-I-N-T, T-I-N-T, and then choose background thing to use your color. So just now you created red, right? Red. This is red, right? Red. So it become red color. Yellow. Okay, yellow. I also change the thing to select the yellow. Is that right? Select yellow. And then green. Green, I select green. Green is this one. Green, right? Red, green, yellow. Can you understand? Thing, background thing. Background thing. You override that property of your button. But don't change it in the primary color there because that will change everything. Maybe some other screen you might want to still use the default theme color for your button. So that is where how you should actually differentiate. So these are just special button with special color. Okay, so let me go to that definition of the so-called the primary color, secondary color, variant, primary variant, and so on. Let me show you a diagram. Then you understand how to define that. Okay, so primary color, primary variant, color on primary, and something like that, right? So these are material design concept. So here, this diagram. Okay, so if you have a button, the primary color, too small. Let me make it a bit larger. Choose one which is larger. Secondary color, so on and so forth. Okay, this one. Let me see a better one. Okay, this. Use a diagram easier for me to explain. Still, this is a better one. Okay, good. Use this one. Right, but it's a bit small. So if you have a button, right, primary color will be applied to the background of that button. Let's use button as the example. Primary color will be the background. So if it is purple, it will be purple. And then the white color, right? Let's say you have a background which is purple, dark color. Color on primary, the color on primary, that one is actually the color that is of anything on top of your background, right? Let's say your background is dark, which is purple. Try to use a light color for your color on primary, white color in this case. This example, they use white color. White is the color on primary. And then color, you have something called color variant. Variant is additional thing that, let me see, let me show you. Variant is anything other than your primary color. Normally it's slightly darker than your primary color. Let's say the border of your button. The border of your button, they'll use the primary variant, like just now. This app. Go back here. Right? Like just now the theme, right? This one. Color primary, the background of the button. This is darker, right? Purple 700 is darker. It's more darker than the previous, the background. So this one will be used as a border. Normally, if your button has a border or something has a border, so this will be the primary variant. So you choose something that is darker than your primary. And the color on primary is the foreground. This is the background, this is the foreground. You put a text, you put an icon in front of your background. So that icon, that text will tag this color, white color. In this case, it's white color. So that icon, let's say you design an icon to represent, your button have an icon in front. That small icon will have a white color if you use color on primary, right? So that is the way you mix it out. And then secondary means some other, not the major component, right? Secondary, like, let me give me a while. I show you another file that I have. Here, color theming. Okay, let me share this. I try to teach you something more practical, something that you can use, right, when you do a project. Just now I said this one, right? Okay, so this is the screen. I couldn't find this diagram again. Previously, I can find. Okay, this one. Color primary, right? You see, let's say you have a toolbar. So color primary will be the background of your toolbar, background of your major button, those days with sizes which are larger one. And then secondary color will be the color of some secondary component, like for example, a radio button, chat box. You have something, a small icon, small button like floating action button. Later you'll learn something called floating action button at the bottom of your screen. Then that one you tag the secondary color. Color secondary is just any color that apply to smaller component of your screen. That will be the secondary color. And then similar to primary color, you have something called color on secondary. So color on secondary is the foreground of your color secondary. Color secondary is the background. Color on secondary is the foreground of your color secondary. So if your color secondary is a light color, then your color on secondary should be a darker color, black color, for example, or dark green, for example. In opposite to your primary and also primary variant. Okay, primary variant, what is that? Primary variant is just something darker than your primary color. Let's say your toolbar is color primary is purple. Then your status bar, something on top of your toolbar will be primary, will take the primary variant, right? Which is to have some contrast, contrast of it. And then you have some other that you can define. Other than primary, secondary, and color on primary, color on secondary, you can also define something called color surface. Color on surface. Surface, like normally you have light green, white color. So your white color can be color surface. And then color on surface is the foreground of your color surface. Right? For some other things, like for example, your menu, for example, some other component, which is not the major component like button and so on. So you can have some other item that you can define, right? And then here, another example, the where you choose your thing, color on surface, let's say it's white color, color surface is white color on surface can be black. So it's a major part of the body of your app. Then you define the color surface for that major part, right? And then color on surface, color primary variant, color on primary, and then color secondary. This is called floating action button. Color secondary will apply to your floating action button. Color on secondary is the foreground of your secondary color. So you must have idea, the color you choose to your app, right? So how to choose it correctly, using material design. There is something called color tool. This one, let me show you. Color tool. Sorry, I go a bit slow, sometimes, so cannot teach too much in a day. But I think it's important, So once you understand all this, you can apply it everywhere, Otherwise, you do it blur. Okay, there is something called color tool on color material design. Just now, right? I said you can refer to color on the material design. So I give you this link. You can do a mixture. You can get the suggested value. Let's say just now purple, right? Let's say your primary, you can put a primary. Let's say just now the primary is this one. Sorry, this one. You see? So if you choose this color, the 7B1FA2 as your primary, then you actually give you a value for your primary variant. You don't have to worry what value. Primary variant is the one on top. You see or not? The one on top. So primary color is this purple. Dark purple will be a primary variant, but you don't know the value, right? You don't know what value should be a primary variant. Then the color tool will help you to give you the proper one. So if you follow this, your layout will be nice, properly mixed up. So the light version of your purple, you can create another light purple as AE52D4. Then you can choose another secondary, right? This one, the secondary, right? Let's say I choose secondary, I want to have some yellowish color, let's say. If I choose this, yellow, then it show you the darker version of the yellow and the lighter version of the yellow that you can use as a secondary color and secondary color and secondary variant. And then the foreground, the secondary on color on secondary, right? You use dark color, black. Then they already give you black, right? So if you choose a lighter yellow, right, as a primary, as a secondary, lighter yellow. Right? Also, you can get the different. If you like put red, let's say red, then your secondary color on secondary become white. You see white, it is white. They can suggest to you what should be the foreground, what should be the background, and the combination of the primary, secondary, right? So this is your outlook. If you choose red and also purple as your primary and secondary, then this is the way it looks like here on the left. This is when you use it in the real app, it looks like this. If you think that this is quite nice, oh, nice, this is what I want, then you can get the value here. Use this value and put it into your app. So you don't have to wildly go and guess what value. This thing, if you follow principle, right, you actually work fine, very fine. So it doesn't matter what color you choose. You can do your own design, just that a combination of them will give you a nice look. So even you mix purple with brown as a secondary, right, you can actually reset this value and choose another one. You choose black, let's say. You just want to have black. So your secondary color button will have black color and foreground will be white. Automatically, you have to choose white. You cannot choose another black as a foreground. So things like that is, even though not taught in normally you do, but this is very important for your app to do a nice one. So you can use this tool, color tool on material design website to do a checking. You can mix, you can try out before you decide what color you want to put onto your app. Okay, another thing I want to say before we have a short break. Right, this one, these color are not random. It's not randomly picked. when Android, when you create a new project, they give you this. Actually, they based on that just now the color tool, the way they combine all those color, and then they give you a combination of this color as one package. So if you want to do your own, you can decide there, and then you put in the value here. You can define your own color and then put in here, and then only you apply to your theme. What is the primary, the home primary, and so on. Okay, now one more is the layout. We have done already, right? We hard code all these dimension. I don't know, I can't remember whether I teach you before or not. All these dimension, we can create something like a file to keep all the values. Right, the values of the dimension. We call it diamonds. So you just right click, is the values. So you go to the values, right click, new values, right click, new values. You call it dimension, D-I-M-E-S. It's an XML file, diamonds, right? So here, diamonds, dimension. So inside here, you can put in dimension. Let's say you give a name. All the text field, we fix the size. 16, right? Margin, the margin. Right, we can set a name called margin, box margin. Right, so you can set it to 16 dp. So you can do this, you fix it here. So you just need to change it at one place. Next time, you don't have to go and hard code everywhere, you have to change. Let's say instead of 16, you want to change it to 20. You can just change it at one place, right? 16. So this box margin, how do you apply? You go to your activity man here, right? This one, margin, right? All the margin you want to standardize at 16. So what you do is just alias, dimension. Just now the box, the file is called dimension, D-I-M-E-S. So here the placeholder you put alias diamond and then box margin. So it still be 16. Nothing changed here, but it is a better way to code. You use a dimension, define it. So you define it at one place. So you standardize your code. So that next time your code, you want to change this margin one time, you change it one place, everywhere will change. So what you do is you can change all these dimension. Those with the margin, margin bottom, margin end, right? So many places you add, right? So you just change it to dimension box margin. So you'll be tied to that value. right? It's no more hard-coded, right? Hard-coded, very hard to change, especially when your app is become bigger and bigger, right? So this margin start, just change it because it's standard, right? 16. So we don't mix the others. This one we define another dimension. Only for margin we set it as box margin. Okay, so here also. I think this is quite miscellaneous. You understand what I'm doing. So I just do refer to that value. You can do it on your own, on your part. I'll give you the code later. So you just change it to this. This 16 dimension. Just add a dimension to it. Those that is similar in nature. Okay, so if I do that already, nothing changed here, right? Still the same. But what changes if I want to change it suddenly? Now I want to change the dimension. Instead of 16, I want to change to 24. Right? If I change it here 24, you see what happens? Right? All of them become 24. It suddenly change, right? All the layout, the margin become 24. It's larger now. 24 in between, 24. So if I want to shrink it back again very fast, I can change it to 16 again. 16. So I come back here, right? Go back to 16. So it's a better way to code, right? So same applies to others, like anything with a size, like text size, right? 24. Let's say I want all the text size is 24. Let's say this one. So I just need to define another dimension here. Right, name, text size. Right, I just use this and then 24 SP. So whenever I want to apply that text size, I just diamond text size. So you make your app more how to say robust, right? Robust to change, right? So text size, this one 24, check 24, change it. 24, change it. This one don't change, different size, so you define another size. Okay, so I think it's okay already. More or less those steps with 24, you standardize it to this dimension, right? Text size. Okay, so understand, So this is another thing you can do, So just now, within 1 hour, we have know how to finish this design. We are going to code some code, Kotlin. We are going to write some Kotlin or Java code. But today I use Kotlin. Okay, so dimension done, constraint done. And then just now we learn how to do the theme, right? And how to set the color for this. This is not random. That you don't randomly pick a color here. It wouldn't be material design quality. So use a tool called material design color tool. You can go to that just now, the link I give you. You pick the color and then they'll mix for you. What should be the primary, what should be the secondary, and the color primary variant, color secondary variant. Variant meaning something slightly different from the primary. Normally will serve as the background or serve as the border or something like that. And then the color on primary is the foreground color on top of your background color primary. Similar for color secondary. So this color you can choose correctly and then you define yourself inside your color. So this will make your app nice. Okay, understand? Okay, so let's have a short break, 5 minutes. After that, come back. We are going to go to the activity here, right? To do some code here. So any question first before we go for the short break? Any question? Do you have any question? So far, so good. I hope you get the gist of it. You don't memorize. You get the gist of it, the idea. The theme, how to do it, the layout, how to do it nicely with dimension. So every week I give you some new concept. So you pick it up and then you do your project better and better. Any question? 有问题吗 on that? If you have no question, then let's have a short break, 5 minutes break. All right, and then after that we come back and then we will start to do some coding. Coding on, this is Kotlin, Kotlin code. Okay, let's have a short break, 5 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes can. Just that I am afraid we don't have enough time. Can 10 minutes also can. Qingze, your that day you told me your Android Studio emulator can do already or not?
I clear my C drive, then now can run already.
Clear C drive, your C drive full
Max already. Then now I clear, can run already.
Okay. I tell you why. You see how big is your Android? You see how big? For me, I install the app. I test 9.2 gig now. One emulator only. Don't create many. I only create 2. Don't be greedy like you got different size, different shape. Just stick to maybe 2 different one. One is larger, one is smaller screen. And you know the size is big. So when you try many times, you need to wipe data. Because you install, it's like a new real phone, a few gig of space. If you look at your phone, right? Your phone also 16 gig only majority. Then the OS will take out maybe also this, and the app you install, right? Maybe 9 point something 10 gig. If your hard disk doesn't have more than this, 10 gig is only enough for one emulator. Here already take out 20 gig. So be careful so you always wipe data. For me once in a while I come here. Once you wipe, then the 9 point something become 1.2. You wipe the data inside the app. Because you don't need to keep the app, right? Install inside your app. So you emulator. So just wipe them, you clear out. Right? So you have to always do some cleaning here. Otherwise your computer will full of very big file. Right? So your emulator is very big. Okay. So let's have a 10 minutes break. Then we can continue. Just to answer the question for Weirong. The one is build.grader, not so much related to the code. My project also got that. Actually, you don't worry. I think it's okay as long as your app is running. This is the Bumblebee, right? You are installing Bumblebee. So the latest project, but build.grader is like that. Mine is also like that. Same.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. The AVD
Nothing wrong,
manager
nothing wrong. This
is
is a
also
build
missing.
grader project level. Compared to the previous version of like Android Studio, it's different. This is a new one. Also
Okay,
like that.
okay, thank you,
First
sir.
time also I see, how come we count like that? But we seldom kacau this one. We seldom touch this one. Most of the time we actually deal with this, the module level build grader. Not the project level. Project level, just leave it. Right? This is a new version. Bumblebee. This one is like that. Right? Most of the time we deal with this one. The module level, you have to set this one. Maybe you want to set to 31 or 32, right? You can change it here.
Thank you, sir.
So no issue lah. The one that you show me is the same as mine. Okay.
Okay. And then one more question, sir.
Yes.
In the new Bumblebee, the AVD manager is also missing.
Sorry, what is that?
The AVD manager. They used to have the AVD manager, and then now only got the device manager.
It's called device manager. Yeah. It's called device manager already lah. No more AVD manager.
Oh, okay.
Device manager. It's the same lah. It's the same thing lah. Same thing. Just that they dock everything within the same app. Even the emulator when you run is dock. You know what is dock? Dock is fixed inside the front of the Android Studio. It's the same. It's the same. No issue.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No issue. No issue. No issue. Okay, let's take a short break. Okay. Right. So are you ready? Maybe you can raise your hand. Okay, so those of you who have just updated, I also encourage the rest. If your Android Studio was installed many months ago, just many months ago, and not years. Years ago, you must actually update. Check for updates. You can go to help, check for updates. Most likely, if you are not in Bumblebee, they ask you to update to Bumblebee. The current one is Bumblebee. Mine is Bumblebee. Must you update or upgrade? I think you should actually, because this current version is tailored for, if you start a new project, tailored for 32 already. Of course, you might not want to go so fast to Android API level 32, but still you can actually update to Bumblebee. Bumblebee, there are some new feature like just now, you cannot find the AVD manager. Actually, it's called device manager now. But it's still the same. To me, it's still more or less the same. It's just that when you do it, a lot of things are docked. This is called dock within the frame of your Android Studio. Even you want to see the emulator, right? Emulator, you want to run, right? Run emulator. You actually run inside your frame. Just last time was floating, right? Your emulator, you can move around. But now your emulator is docked here, inside your frame. Right? Your emulator is here. So is it better or not better? It depends on your habit, right? For me, first time I use, I don't like it lah. So I prefer to have my my emulator that can move around, right? So you can still do the same. I think everything is still the same, more or less the same. Just that this kind of layout you can actually change. If you want to go back to the previous one, like if let's say you don't want it to be inside your app, inside your Android Studio, you can actually still change the view. Let me see how to change here. View, right? View mode, you can float, you can make it float, right? You go to here, this settings, show options menu, right? You want to view mode, you want to change to undock, you want to undock it, you want to float, you can use float, right? It become floating. You can move around. Previously was like that, right? Floating, right? So now it become like you can they fix it to the fix it dock. It's called dock, docking, dock to the Android Studio. Good and bad it depends on your preference. So it's just more cosmetic, most cosmetic changes to Android Studio. But the core feature are still there. Just that by default is 32. Bumblebee now is aiming for 32. So you might want to download again your SDK manager. SDK, you might want to choose the latest SDK platform. It's up to 32 already. So it's not necessary for you to go 32 in order to do our app. Most of our app is still the same. It's quite not the very high-tech kind of app. So we can still use an older version of SDK platform, 30, 31, 29, 28, still can run. So you may not need to download a lot of these SDK because SDK size is very large, a few gig. If you download a lot, it's a few gig, can take up your hard disk. So be aware of that. If you have latest one 32 already, then delete the 31, delete the 30. So currently on my hard computer, right, I downloaded 32. I have 31, 32, 30, and 29. So 29 I delete already. So if you want, you can also remove. You can just remove and then you update, apply, then you remove your 30, for example. Now it's 32. So I just want to test 32. That's why I don't download the rest. I download only the SDK platform 32. That's why my project, when I create a new project, it can actually set the latest one up to 32. If you never download the SDK for 32, then you won't go to 32, like it'll be 31 or 30 that you have. Okay, so this is Android 12. No, Android 13, right? And SDK last time, Android 12 is 31. Now it's the latest, even newer than that, 32 API. Okay, so let's go. Okay, close everything, close all the file that we opened just now. tidy up your workspace. Always don't try to open too many files. Okay, so now come back to the .kt file. Can you create a mix-up project with Java file and Kotlin file? Actually can, right? I show you how you can do it. You can create a new activity with Java. Let's say you have now one screen, right? Main activity. You want to create another activity. You create another activity, Java activity, right? You create an empty activity. You can choose Java actually. You still work, right? Let's say it's called main activity 2. Let's say so finish. Right? There is no problem at all. You can mix your code, Java and Kotlin in different file, not in the same file, in different file. Right? So you can have one activity written in Kotlin, and then another activity, let it sing first. Let it sing. So you can have another project, one project inside there, you got Kotlin code, Java code. Right? So after sing, you see, this is Java. Right? Java code with Kotlin. This is Java version of the same activity, but this is a different activity. This is main activity in Kotlin. This is main activity 2 in Java. The template is the same. This template and this template, you check is the same. Just that the syntax is different. So this is a Java version. So extends, Java use extends. Here you use colon. So Kotlin syntax, I assume after the first 2 weeks we learned already. So this is Kotlin. So it's every Kotlin project, right? Kotlin class, right? The default class must be public. So even though you don't put public here, it's actually public, without the public. So Java have a keyword public. You must put public here. At least one class is public. Here Kotlin you implied. It's not written but implied is a public class. Okay, so let's first of all, everything we do when we create a new activity, right? You always want to bind your layout to your code. You have layout, right? These are called the views. The views, text view, right? You have many views here. You have 2 types of view, button and text view. Text view and button. So first thing you do is you want to link your code to the button, link your code to the text view. How to do that? Okay, now we do it in Kotlin. Right, let's say you want to link the button. So you must declare the object first, the button object. You can do 2 ways. One is you declare where you want to use it. If you want to just locally use it, the variable, then you locally declare. If the variable you want to declare and use it in many other functions, let's say later on, your activity, you have many other functions, you are going to declare other function, then you have to declare outside of the onCreate method. So onCreate method is a first method that is called whenever any activity is created. This is the default. I think I mentioned before, default life cycle method. For all activities, first one, default first life cycle method called, right? And then normally it is used for initialization. Initialize your app, right? Okay, so now let's say I declare the variable inside. So I want to bind the variable whenever my app is created, when this method is called the first time you call, then I want to create the variable to bind to all these view. Don't go and create this main activity 2. This one I just show you example. Don't go and create it unless you really need to create another screen. Okay, so this is right? Variable, variable. Let's say I want to bind to this text view 1. Right, text view 1, text box 1, text view box 1. I want to bind to this ID, this text box. Right? How do I write it in the code? I can name it the same. To be easier, I name it the same. TV box 1 variable. This is a variable. It's a text box. Text view. It's a text view. The type. This is a type. And then find view by ID. Very important, this function. Find view by ID is going to be used later. Unless you use MVVM. Later on, if you learn another concept, Jetpack, MVVM, then we don't need this find view by ID. We can have other way to bind the view to the code. Right? But for now, we learn the basic one first. We learn the basic, find view by ID. The type that you want to bind to is a text view. Specify the type. Actually, not necessary, right? This is not compulsory if you have already defined it here. You just need to define it one time, but I purposely do it to show you. Okay, so you bind it to this ID, dot TV box 1. This is the view ID. This view ID is specified inside your text view here. Your layout, right? Text view box 1. So you bind it like that. So this one red color, why? Because you never import the class yet. So just write, whenever you see something, the class name with red color, then you just right click on it, show context section. Right, you suggest what you can do to solve this problem. But this problem is because we never import it. Right, so what we do is always do this. So it'll help you to do your project faster. You don't have to worry, oh, got red color. You don't have to go and look for what to import. You don't have to type, right? So the tool is very useful now. You just right click, show context action, import the class, right? So no more, so import for you already. Right, text view is this class, android.widget.textview. Right, it helps you to do your code without remembering class name, package name, function name, and so on. All these function, all this class, all these package are part of Java API, right? The API that you download, the SDK. Remember just now? We go to this SDK, we download, right? All the function and class and so on are part of your SDK, platform SDK. So it depends on which version of platform you download. All these are already quite very basic, all this class. In all the SDK version, I think all got this text view, right? So do this, right? The others also you can do the same, right? We have 7 text boxes. Remember? 1, 2, 3 until 7, right? So now you understand how to do already. Just do the same, but with different variable, right? Okay, so you may not need to define the type here, right? So you can just directly put like that. So you'll be decided by the type assigned to it. If this over here you already define the type already, then over here you don't need to define. But even you define, it's not wrong. So you can do the same here. Right? Text box 2, right? You want to link to text box 2. Like that. Any problem of linking? You create a handler. This is called a handler. Create a variable that serves as a handler to your view. So in your code, you manipulate the variable, right? You don't manipulate the ID of the view. You cannot manipulate the ID. You manipulate the variable that you bind. You do a binding. This is called binding. View binding. This part, the code that you are doing here is view binding. You bind your view to your code, right? Okay, so the rest is the same. So I do a bit faster. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So you have 7. So this is 3. Be careful when you copy and paste. You have to remember to change correctly. This one 4. This one 5. Make sure you name according to certain sequence, then it's easier for you. Remember last week I say you name it in accordance to certain format. And next time, the whole project, when you do, you always remember TV stands for text view. And then this is the special label, right? This is box number 2. So you can remember it like that easier. So you can do your code faster. So don't randomly name your box and name your text view and so on. If you randomly name, for example, you name like this. This one called text view. No one knows which box is that already. After a while, you have too many boxes, right? Too many text view. So if you do something general like this, you cannot remember, even though it's valid. Then after a while, you don't know which box is this. You need to refer to the layout to look for it. Actually, it's this box. Click to play, right? So this one should be, you call it TV box 7. Like that, easier also for you to code here. So you can name it according to the same one. So your variable name is the same as the ID. Then easier for you to refer to it. Okay. Any question on this? Whether you want to put in the type, up to you, right? The complete one is this, right? But this in Kotlin, whatever you assign to it, the value is text view, right? The type, the return by this function is a text view. So you don't need to define the type also for this variable. It's fine. It's okay. These are all local variable, local to the onCreate method. Okay. Okay, now the button. We have 3 more buttons. 3 more buttons at the bottom, right? Button, green button, yellow button, red button. Okay, so you know this btn stands for button, right? So easy. You also use the same convention, btn red. Right, find view by ID. The type is a button. Just put button, our.id button red. So what happens to this? It's not an error. It's just that you didn't import it yet. The button class is not present in the code. So repeat again the same thing, right? As I say just now, right click, show context action, import the class. Imported. Don't have to remember what class is that. I also don't remember. It's widget. Every of this view is called widget in this class, widget. So you just import. Whether you want to put this type or not, can also you put. Is it difficult? Not that difficult, right? When you understand the concept. All right, so just repeat for green and yellow. This one is yellow. The one in the middle, yellow. So this one, remember to change to yellow. This one is green. Right, green. So I give you all this code. Just put it inside onCreate method. As soon as the app is created, the activity is loaded. Activity loaded. This method is the first one that is called. So you do some binding here. View binding for all the components on your layout. Yeah, I give you the code. Yeah, so just copy and paste it there. Unless your view, you name it differently, then it won't work. You need to rename. But else, if you follow my convention, it should be the same, like just now. Just now, anyone cannot follow. I forget to give you the code, right? So why not I just give you the code. I clean the project. I give you one off. This one. Give me a while. I clean it first. I clean it. Every time I do, I clean it. And then before I send to you. If you never clean the project, you are sending, if you have run it in the emulator, you have created an installer in your project folder. So if you never clean, you send to someone, you send the APK together, the installer together with the code. The file size is normally more than 10 megabyte. It's very large. That's why you send through internet is a bit slow. So every time I give you a code, I will clean and then zip first. So the one I send you is small. It's less than 1 gig, a few meg, less than 2-3 meg normally, the code. So remember to do the same when you submit your assignment. I don't want everybody submit to me hundreds of megabyte of file, right? I replace the earlier version. So this one is with some code already. Color my box, right? The one that we have done. Okay, raise your hand if you are ready. Then we go. Else I'll wait for you for a while. Okay, ready or not? All right, now we want to do a click event. Click event on each of those view. Even don't forget, don't misunderstood that. If not only button can be clicked, right? You can do like that. No need to define the type also can. Okay, not only button can click, even text view also can be clicked. Buttons also can be clicked. In Android, so you can have anything, the views on the screen that you can define a click listener, right? You can click on it and then something happen. You want to trigger that event, huh? Something that happened. So what happens is now we want to set up. Now we call it set up. We want to set the listener. We want to set something called on click listener to each of our component, right? The one that we have just defined. So all this, for example, button, I want to set it, right? You have the variable already, so you are going to use the variable set on. You just type. You don't remember the very long word, right? Just put this set on click listener, right? You just pass in this, right? The current. Okay, let me. Okay, in order to put this, this activity, right, and then this button, right, you need to implement some interface. Implement interface. So called view dot on click listener. So this one got error, right? You put this cannot, right? So you can let the tool helps you, right click, choose the second one, right? You ask you, do you want to do this? Yes, on click listener, right? So you need to define a function on what to do when you click this button. Set on click listener this, right? So when you click the button, let's say this red button, you want to do something, right? So there is a function called on click function. So on click listener, when you set this, you need to add this onto your main activity. This is called the interface. The interface for on click event. Interface for on click event, right? So this is the one. Comma, because you got two, right? This is a class, super class. This is an interface. We didn't learn interface in our Kotlin because we don't have enough time. So try to refer to Kotlin tutorial on what is interface. Interface is just like an abstract class. This is a class. You can have a abstract class. You can also define an abstract class. Just that in this Android library, Android library, they actually implement, they already designed, they already write something called on click listener, which is an interface, right? That you want to inherit and you want to implement a concrete method. That's why you override. So in the interface, there is already an abstract method called onClick. Abstract method means the method doesn't have a body. The abstract method doesn't have a body. Oh no, it's not abstract. Okay, if you it's a part open function. It's not an abstract function. It's an open function. Right? You say open. So you mouse over. Right, you can see the definition of this on click in the super class in the interface. Right, public open fun on click. Right, because it is open in the super in the interface, you have to override. You can override it with what you want to do with that click event. Right, so this is the standard steps. You need to set the on click listener. Listener is a design pattern where you create some what we call it, listener is an object that waiting for the click event. So this is the event handler. We call it event handler. When someone click, it trigger the event. Listener means it's waiting. Right? You create a listener to wait for the event. So when someone click, then the event happens. Then maybe you want to send bring something, want to show some message or something like that. So later we are going to do that. So we have to set. So here you need to, because you want to set this on click listener, you have to implement the interface. Because this interface, set on click listener function is from this on click listener event interface, and this function is also part of this on click listener interface, which is the sub interface of this the view class. It's within the view class, right? This view class, right? There's an interface defined inside the view class. So we implement that interface, right? Okay, so now if you see, there are so many buttons and so on. We are going to define event to click something and then something happen. Click something happen. Click something happen. We are going to change the color, right? Color the box differently. So what we do, if you want to repeat this, let's say so many, you can do like this. So it's just a lot of repetition, right? A lot of repetition like that. This is not a very efficient way to write code. Later I show you a more efficient way. Let's do a not efficient way first. Just do it separately, like that, one by one. One by one. And then all this, we also want to create an event for it to happen. We click the box, then the box color will change. Now the box are all white color. You see or not? White color. No color, right? No color, right? White color, white color, white color, white color, white color. So we are going to define some event. When you click the button, click that box too. Not only the button. You click the button, you change certain box to certain color. You click another button, you change certain box to certain color. Click another button, you change certain box to certain color to green. But also when you click the box itself, you want to change it to certain color. So you want to trigger that event. So if you want to do it separately, one by one, then basically you have to repeat the code. Repeat this code. Right, for each of them. This one also text box, right? You can click. As I mentioned, you can click. Just set on click listener. This one, on click listener, this. So to be lazy, let's say you just want to do it like that. 7 of them. Repeat 7 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Okay, so I give you this one, the code. But this is not the final product that I want to use. Later, I show you a better way to do the same. This thing is repetition, right? Keep repeating, 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 repeating. So you can do a loop actually. You can do a loop to do the same. This part you can do a loop. Right? So the on-click event, right? If you do like that, later on you need to, okay, this one we leave it first. So how to repeat this one? Do this repeat using loop without repeating, write the same code over and over again. Right? There is a way. This is not necessary you must do it, but you can consider doing it so that to make your code more elegant. So we can use something, a data structure called list. List in Android, in Kotlin, called list. Right? We can use list. Something called list. It's just like an array. Did I teach this in our class? No. This is a collection type. Collection class. Called list. List basically is a array that can grow and can string. You can add new element to it. You can remove. Right? If you want to learn about this, you can go to the Moodle. I have the code for that. You go to Moodle, that's how I mentioned to you, right? You can go to this list. But it's a simple data structure. You don't have to learn it now. You can learn it later, but I will show you first. I give you this sample code, right? Kotlin sample code. The second one, this one. You see Kotlin list, this one. There are other data structure called map. Map is like dictionary, and then you have set. So, but we are using this list. List, there are 2 types in Kotlin. One is mutable, one is immutable. We are, for this case, doesn't matter for our case that we want to do. We use a immutable or mutable also can. So let's try to do it now in the code. Right, so let's create a list, a variable, right? We call it clickable views. Just a variable, clickable views. Right, it's a list, right? You can just put a list. The type is view. You keep a view. All these are view, right? TV1, TV box, and back button. All of them are views, right? They are views, right? They are subclass of view. Text view is a subclass of view. Button is a subclass of view. Right? Do you think so? Yes. Here, right? All of them are actually these two are part of this view class. So what you do is you just declare a list type, a list of views. This is a type. A list of every member is a view. Okay, you use a constructor, constructor called list of, right? And then put a bracket there. Right, the member of the list will list it out here. So clickable views is a list already, list object. So a list of what are there? You just put the name of this into it. TV box 1, comma, TV box 2, TV box 3, TV box 4. And then you can go to multiple line to be more tidy. 5, 6. It's an array lah. You create an array. In other words, it's not an array, but here we call it a list. Huh? And then the button green, button red, button yellow, and button red, green. Right, like this. Huh? Do a list of all these variables. Huh? These are variables. All the variables that represent a view. A view is either a text view or a button. Right? You just do it as a list. Understand that? Huh? So we don't need to do this one by one. Later we'll comment. We can comment out all this. Just call control/comment out all the code here. Huh? Later. Okay. You see how I represent, I replace this one with just a loop. A loop. So create a list first, then you look through the list. We are going to look through the list. Right, so now I want to look through the list. So very simple. Just for, use a for loop. For view, each of them is a view, right? So you can use in and Kotlin. There's a very easy. This is a for each. Something like in PHP, you have for each loop. So for view in, this is a list, right? In the views, clickable views. For view in clickable views. This one I put here. So you have the list already. You look through the list, right? Each of the view, right? Each of this, right? Each of the view, I set on click listener. I repeat this one. Instead of do one by one, right? I call it one time. Do it one time here. This line is the same as this 10 lines. This one 10 lines, right? I use one line to do. Repeat it 10 times. 10 times, how many 10? How do I know 10 times? Because clickable views got 10 members here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you repeat 10 times. So we still achieve the same thing, right? This is how you can write your code better. Okay. In Java, it's the same. Just Java, you do the loop differently. Do a loop differently. So let me send to you. Right? Okay. Okay, so now we have this already, right? We set the listener already for each of the view inside the list. So you don't repeat again. This thing you have to comment. Just comment out everything. Just comment them. Comment them. And you do it this way. All right. So now we want to do something, right? When we click. So it's the place where we want to define this click already. Are you okay to follow? Are you okay to follow? We have so far defined the on-click listener. Now we want to define the event, right? When you click, what happens? What happens? So this event will try to do something on this event. This on-click will be tied to all the listener. You have 10 listener here, right? So you do it 10 times here. So all the listener will be tied to this on-click event. Right? Okay. 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 Now this one PO is a variable name. I just change it to view. Let me see. Let me see. Is there a better way to write this? Think. Okay, we write it this way. Okay, so now we want to do a switch case here. Switch case. Switch case in Java, right? Because you don't know which one is click, right? So you have to identify if this one is click, you do something. This one is click, you do something. This one is click, you do something, right? So we define we can actually, let me see how to make it better. No, no need lah. We just directly. Okay. So now we want to define a switch case, but in Kotlin, there is no switch case. Kotlin, we use something called when. Something called when. When is the same as switch case. Huh? Let me go to the tutorial quickly. Huh? The Kotlin switch case. Kotlin when. Now we try to see one example. Huh? What is Kotlin when? Just now I say we didn't have time to learn, right? One by one, huh? So we just learn it when we need to use it. Okay, so Kotlin language. You go to the official Kotlin website, huh? And then you go to play. Under play, there are examples, right? Examples, huh? Play examples. You don't have to write this code, huh? Just see what is when, huh? Introduction, control flow, huh? Under control flow, there is when, huh? Here, when. This keyword, huh? When. Okay, when statement. Okay, when statement is like switch case. Huh? When. So you actually check. It's like if lah. A lot of if else, if else, if else. So you have many cases of this value object. In this case, it's an object, right? Can be of any type. In this example, object can be string, can be number, can be anything. So if it is a number, then you do this. If it is a string, you do this. If it is something else, it's a long, it's not integer, it's a long, then you do this, and so on and so forth, right? So this is each of the case, the different cases. So when you use a when to divide them into different possibility, and you always have a default case, right? Default case. If you don't put this in, sometimes if you don't fall into each of these, it'll be undefined. So else by default, right? So now this when we can apply, they use the same structure, language structure like this. We can define our app, what we want to do with it. Right here, when. So we use when also. So we check this view, right? This view that pass in, right? Okay, on click already. On click already, click. You pass in the view, which view, right? You don't know, right? So if it is this view, if it is case, it's text box 1. If it is text box 1, right? Right? You see red color, I tell you why. Okay, you want to change the color of text box 1. Let's say set background color. Right, but now cannot access because it's red color. Why? Can you tell me why red color is here, defined here and defined here? Variable, right? Defined here inside onCreate method, but it's red color. Red color, it shows that unresolved reference, right? Because it is not global. It is only declare this variable. Is only declare within the onCreate method. But you are trying to use it outside of onCreate method. This is a function, onCreate method. And you are using it in the another function, onClick function, right? You are using this variable onClick in the onClick function. So what happens? Cannot access, it's a private variable, local variable. So how do you do? Okay, we can actually move this declaration. This part you cannot move. Must be inside the onCreate method. What we do is the declaration we can move outside. This one, like I show you, all this you cannot declare here already. So you must do this part outside of the onCreate method here. Right? So, but in Kotlin, because we are writing Kotlin, every variable must be declared first. Declare and must be initialized. Initialize first. Let's say this one, I remove it. So this one, the assignment, I do it inside the code. This is called assignment, assign. When you assign, you can assign it inside the onCreate method. But when you declare, you must declare outside. But what happens is this one don't allow you to not initialize it. You need to initialize it. Initialize it means you need to assign some value to it. So how do you do? You can assign a null to it. Null. But if you assign a null, this thing must be null safety. Right? Then it works. Sorry. This one, once you put in null safety, right? Right? This guy also must be taking a. Oh, sorry, not like that. This is a variable, cannot be var, var. Because you assign a value, you assign a null to it, right? And then now you assign another value to it, right? So you assign the second time. So it cannot be val. Val is a constant. You cannot use val. You must use var. Okay, so you declare outside of the function. Var variable. This is a text field. Now, right? Another way of doing it, if you want don't want to assign a now to it, is you use late init. Late initialization. You allow it to be initialized later. So you can do like that. TV box 1, right? Text field. Right? And then you comment out this one. You can do like that also. Either way, if you declare it first, you must initialize. Then you nothing to initialize, put a now. Put a now, you must make it nullable. Right? If you don't want to make it nullable, like this way, you can use late initialization. Late. You tell the compiler that this variable initialization will do later. So you do it in the onCreate method. Either way is okay. Either this one or this one is okay. If you move your variable declaration to outside of the onCreate method. So you see, once you do this, you declare outside, then you can access it in the onClick already, can already. You see no red color already, right? Can access already. You can access already. This one, you can access it already. It's outside already. It's global already. So now let's say we want to, once we click on this set box, we want to set the background. You can access it, so you can access the method. Set background, right? Set background color. We just purposely set the background color to some color. So your color value, right? Inside here got color value. We have all this color value, right? Color value. So you might want to set it to certain color value. This is box 1. Okay, box 1, we can use color the enumerator. Enumerate color dot. Like this box 1, let's say somebody click the box 1. Box 1 is the one on top, this one. Actually, we just want to test, doesn't matter what color. Box 1 is this one. The one on top. We click on it, you want to change the color to some color. Maybe I make it into any color. So I just set color dot. Okay, this color is a class in Kotlin, right? In Android, Kotlin, that you keep all the constant of the color you can import. Right, so you can import this color into your app. Graphic, use the Android graphics color, right? So we import. So it's a capital C COLOR dot. Let's say I color it to, I just get any color from here so many color. Make it blue let's say or any we just test only. So this box I want to make it right. I don't know how to read this word. Zion. Okay, now do the same for other box. So we need to move this variable declaration outside. So what happens is remove this and make it outside. So TB box 2. All right. If you want to do the now also can. But you need to make it nullable. So the same box 2, box 3 also same. Box 3. So do it here. Declare outside of your, so it become a global variable to the entire class, the entire activity. So it's a global variable now. Late initialization and then text. Without initialization is okay if you put late init. Okay, so text box 3. So same for the other box. So you can declare outside. You can put it one line also can. Put it one line like this. Let me see. Can we put one line? TV box 2 of this one. Oh, cannot. Then you need to declare one by one like that. Cannot. You have to do it one line by one line. Right, so something a bit weird in Kotlin. So we have to do it one line by one line. Let's say you want to declare all the variables outside of the onCreate method. Just do the declaration outside. So it's a repetition. I do it first and then later I show you the code. I give you the code. So all this you declare outside. So we just repeat doing this. right? Late initialization of the box, the variable. It's actually a text field, So you must declare the type, Otherwise the program doesn't know what type is this variable. So this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. So you have all the 7 variables. And also the red, green, the red, green, and yellow button, same, So late init variable button red, right? So button, and this is a button, right? So here you need to remove this, right? So same these two variable also you need to declare. Declare it first, declare the variable first. Yellow and the variable green. All right. So all the variables are declared already, So then you initialize it there, Okay, this one, what happens here? No need to declare. This is not declaration, so don't put the type there. Initialization, Okay, initialize, then declare first. So what happens is now it's just a matter of defining what you want to do with the button click, button click. Okay, let's say this is the case, You want to just change something, This one we can test, we can try to do our define your own, TV box 2. Right, change the color of TV box 2. Background color. So the TV box 2 become maybe red color. Okay, so just test 2 first. Test these 2 whether work or not. Okay, let me run. Just test these 2 box first. If when you click, right, whether the color change or not. Right, so you see when you run the emulator will happen here. Just test first, 2 test cases only. I didn't define for all the other box. So when you click the other box, nothing happened. But for these 2 first, we see whether the color of the box, right, will change or not. Set the background color to some color. Okay. Still very slow, sorry, but this is due to the project is compiled first time. Just now I clean already, remember? I clean. When I clean, the installer is gone. So I have to recompile again into the installer before it is installed to the emulator. Okay, so compile already, So you can see it's going to run here. It's still installing, So normally after you compile, you build, still need to take a few seconds, before it is installed. You see launch succeeded, right? It's, yeah. Right, if I click on box 1, change already. Box 2. This 2, right? Zion, Zion is this color, I don't know what color is that. It's between green and blue, Red, right? I click on red, right? I click on red. I click on red and click on box 2. This is box 2. I click, then become red. You can do whatever you like, So if you need to run more than one function, let's say a statement, you need to write a function, So we can write another function. Let's say, you call it function, right? Color my box, right? You can define your own function, So you pass in the view, you pass in the view, and then you do multiple line, So you can do like view dot set color, background, whatever, And then the color you can also decide inside, But we don't want to waste time on that, You can customize your code so that you can do more than one thing. Here you can only write one statement, If you use when, this one is tied to a line only, one function. I don't know whether you can write multiple. Box. Can also, but it's not tidy, TV box 1 dot set font. You also want to set the text color, right? Set text color. Right? It's not tidy lah. You should write a function to call that function and do the thing. Okay, you can also set the text color to, right? Let's say this one, the red color just now, the black text is not nice, right? You want to make it white. You can put a semicolon to separate it into two segments. So TV box 2, right? Set text color to white. White. Oh, cannot do like that. Cannot do it on the same addresses. Let me see. Wait here. Oh, can. It's tidier. So you can put multiple line by using adding braces. Right? So you see this one is nicer now. I do two things when TV box 2 is click. I run again. Put a braces to group the statement. Because this one, you see the black color and the red color doesn't look nice, right? So I just want to show you can actually do multiple things using braces. You can do multiple things within the one choice. You can do two things at one time. Right, the rest is up to you lah. You can define whatever you like. For let's say I click here, the box 2. Now white color already, right? So white color text and also red color box. Right, because I do the red color for the box, white color for the text. Okay, understand or not? The rest is just define different thing for you to do for different thing. Okay, so the text box, I don't want to waste time. Let you do. You can do your TV box 3, TV box 4, TV box 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, you just change. But button, okay, what about button? Let's say you click the button, red button. Red button, right? Red button, I want to make everything red. Everything red. Just make everything red. Let's say red means everything red. So you can just put this on. Right. Assuming this is what you want for red. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not all the box become red. Let's say right click, click run again. You can define your own what you want to do. That's why this app is called Color My Box. Right. So I click red. Now I'm clicking this red button. Right, everything red. Oh, okay. 6, 7 shouldn't be there. I don't do the 6 and 7. Right, just the 1 to 5. Right. So you want to play with it, it's up to you. So the rest of the code I think is miscellaneous. Green. Let's say green button, you want to click on green button, right? This is green button on click, right? On click, right? You can define one on click. Don't need to have an on click for every button, every TV, right? Every text view. You just do one click and then pass in the view. So you check which view is that. The view is the view variable. It's a view variable. So you pass in text box 1, text box 2, button red, button green. Okay, button green, you just change this to green. Copy and paste green. Everything green. Yeah, I'm lazy I do quick. So later on you can get the code. It's just simple stuff to do. Right, I just want you to appreciate what you learned today. This is Kotlin code. You do it first time in Android, right? Kotlin code, object-oriented, right? Object-oriented. So everything is an object, right? Returned by the function, return an object. It's a view object. This is a view object. The subclass is text view. The superclass is view. So all of these are views, right? That's why when you pass this to your function on click, it's actually a view. Do we need this? Actually, we don't need the question. Actually, no need nullable, right? Because we already initialized them. So it's not nullable. No need to be nullable. Whether you want to put nullable or not doesn't matter for this case. Okay. Now I want to say something about the default. Default case. Let's say you don't have a default, right? This one, no default case, right? No default case. Meaning if I do anything else, right? Do anything else, it doesn't happen. Nothing happen. Nothing happen. Right? Only this one click become white. Okay, so nothing happened. Let's say we want to do a default case. Default case, default meaning else. It's an else. you can put a default case where you color everything gray. Your world become gray lah. So you can color the background lah, cover the background gray. Let me see how to do that. Default case. Or anything else that you pass in. It's not a button, it's not a text view. Anything else, you just set it. Use the color, whatever view you click. Right, this variable on click view dot set background. So you also set background, but everything you color it to be gray. Whatever you click, it become gray. So gray. Gray. So you see, you have a default case now, default else. So if anything not defined here, not the button, TV box 1, TV box 2, TV red, not green, then anything else you click on it, it will become gray. Right? Okay, so you see, anything else, I click here, even I click in the body, doesn't work. This one become gray, this one become gray. This one green, that's how I define already, green, red, right? Anything else, box 3, 4, 5, I didn't define, right? Gray, gray, gray. Okay, this is not clickable. The background is not clickable. The body, the layout, right? Unless I define it, right? I can define it actually. I can define a constraint, an object for the constraint layout. Later, this one gray, gray, right? Anything a view, as long as it's a view, you click, right? This one will be triggered, it become gray. Unless you define something else to override it. You define something, you click on it, it will be the color. But if you click anything else, this one gray, 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 gray. This one everything red, this one everything blue, green. This one yellow, I haven't defined yet. Okay, so if you want to define the layout, right? The layout, you also can do layout. You see, the layout is also an object. The layout itself, this one, you can define it as an object also. This layout. Right? The layout itself can be an object. Let me see. Okay, must give it an ID. Here you don't have an ID, right? You cannot identify it, right? You want to find the view by ID, you add ID equals to plus ID slash, right? You call it constraint layout ID or whatever, constraint layout, call it constraint layout. Constraint layout. Make it a bit more general, constraint layout. Parent, whatever, I give you an idea called constraint layout parent. This one, constraint layout. I can also capture it. So now in the code, I go to the code, just like the rest. I can visualize it. You can call it constraint layout parent. And then the type is constraint layout. This is a type. Must be capital letter. Right click, import the constraint. Constraint S with constraint. Constraint layout. Right click, import. Right, so it's a class. So Android X, Jetpack, Android X constraint layout dot widget dot constraint layout. So the package is the same as the one you use right here. Android X constraint layout widget constraint layout. So in the code, so the same. You import. Right, when you import, you can use it, the class. You can define a variable that is of this type. Okay, now what happens is, let's say I want to also find the view, right? Constraint layout. Right, I can find the view by ID. Right, the type is constraint layout. Constraint layout, and then the ID is r.id.constraint layout parent. So this variable, I think I do it wrongly. This one I need to use the variable. Yeah, constraint layout parent. Constraint. Sorry, S. Constraint layout parent, and here constraint layout parent. Right, so this constraint layout parent find view by ID. Okay, so now with this, you can actually pass the variable, the view to it already. When you pass, you click this guy, right? You click this guy. All right, you also need to set the on-click listener. Now I have set on-click listener for everyone. I haven't set on-click listener for this variable, right? So I add it to this variable. Add it to the list. constraint layout parent. Right, I add it here. So when I do the listener, you also set already lah. You set, set the listener. So let's set listener meaning anytime this on-click event happens, right? This on-click event happens, then I can add it in here maybe. No need to add it in here because the view represent it. Set background color. If I run now, so I click on the background, also it will become gray, right? You can see, it's running, wait, sometimes no reaction because it's still compiling. Compiling. Okay, wait, okay. So I have a default case that cover the entire screen, not only the button, not only the text view, but also include the background, the constraint layout. Now you see, I click on anywhere in the layout, right? Become gray, become gray, right? So this one you can click on this, change color. The rest I haven't defined the click. Here red color, green color, right? So even the background also become gray. Because why? Because this view also cover this constraint layout view. Constraint. Right, it's part of the view I define, and then I also set the listener. On click listener. Understand or not? Understand the concept or not? The rest I leave it to you. I can give you the code. You can play with it. Doesn't really matter. This is just a practice, right? It's not an exam. So understand the concept of writing code to link your view to your action. The click is just a very simple action. The click, something happen. Right? We just write some code to set the background to something else. Right? You can also set the font color to something else. Up to you what you want to manipulate. As long as it is something allowed for a text view, something allowed for a button. Or you can also set the different color for the button change or something like that. Let me make it complete, so that I pass you the code that is complete with all the use cases. So this is yellow. Yellow button will click, everything become yellow. Right, and then the text box also, I just repeat for the text box 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, right, 4, and 5. Right, so change it to different color You can call it black color, maybe not black change it to something else. Not black, not white, maybe pink. Maybe no pink color. So change it to something else. Magenta, 现在啦 let's try. Okay. Light gray, whatever maybe blue. 现在啦 Okay, just change to some color, right? Light gray, something like that. Right, so you can test. Any question? Hannah, so this is the first project that you have done both sides, right? The layout, and also, of course, there are so many things to learn, but the principle is the same. It's just you draw a different layout later. Then you have different combination of views. And then in the code also same, you must always find the view. You must always find the view. Link it to the view, bind it to the view. And this time we are using Kotlin. Java also the same. Just say Java don't have the necessity for late init, all this. Okay, so we click, all the different color now. Right, I click something else, everything yellow, everything change, green, everything change, red, everything change. So up to you what you want to customize. The here, it's up to you. The concept is the same. It's up to you to do. Okay, any question on this? If not, then I pass you the code. You can play with it. You can play with it. Okay, later on, only today not enough time already. Supposedly we want to do. I can start a bit on the other project before we end. Okay, so you just get this code. Anyone needs a break to digest? If not, I will just continue, start a new project and do a bit more. you need okay, 5 minutes only, cannot 10 minutes, 5 minutes only. No time for 10 minutes. 5 minutes break. Okay, I give you the code now. No worry, if you are first time, if this is your first project, first time you do something like that, no worry lah. So for those of you who have done Android before, this is simple actually. Just that it's in Kotlin. The only reason it is different is it is in Kotlin. Else it will be the same. In Java, it's always like you can do all this also. Okay, so this is the code so far. Okay, let's have a short break, 5 minutes, and after that we continue. 5 minutes break. Okay, students, let's continue. Okay, just the very last last few minutes. Okay, we start a new project. Huh? Just create a new project. Sorry, I talk a few hours. No voice. Okay, start a new project. We want to do a login because your project you need to do login, sign up, sign in, right? So next week we are going to do that, huh? Sign in and also sign up form, huh? Activity. So just create a new project. You call it what? Call it linear layout example, huh? Call it linear. But for your project, you don't call it linear layout example. You call it whatever project name you want, huh? So this one, okay, color. So I call it linear layout example. You want to use Kotlin, you can, or if you want to use Java, up to you. But you can still change it later, doesn't matter. Even you choose the wrong one, later you can, in the project, you create your activity in Java or Kotlin. So for now, I use Kotlin, huh? Linear layout. Huh? Linear layout example. All right, it's a login screen, login screen, and also the what is that? Login screen, and also the what we call it, the sign up screen. Sign up means register, register. So linear. Most appropriate is to use linear. Of course, you can also use constraint, doesn't matter. But the purpose of me doing that is to teach you on linear layout. That's why I purposely use linear layout. So you can also use constraint layout. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to do a form. Okay, let me show you some sample of login screen. Depending on your mockup, login and register screen in Android. So it depends on your mockup, right? So later on, you have to check, follow your mockup design. So next week only we'll complete this one, no worry. So I just show you some sample first. Right, so you can look for a lot of design, how people design it. Let's say I choose this one. A bit blur lah, but I think you can see, right? Login screen is linear in a vertical way, vertical orientation, right? With some text view on top, and then edit text. This is called edit text. The text box is called edit text and button, right? On the right is a register screen. Register screen, you have a text view, and then with some edit text, 4 edit text and a button. So you can have other example, for example, this one. This is a much simpler example without the background. The background, you can create your own background. This is right. So also in vertical, right? A text view, and then 2 edit text, email, password, login, right? Register screen, right? Also a few more text views, and also edit text, and then the button, right? So this is called linear layout. I think many of you learned before Android. The first layout you learn is linear layout. The simplest, right? If you have done other class before, Android class, right? Linear layout, there are 2 orientation. One is vertical, one is horizontal. This one, vertical and horizontal. Just now the input login, right? Login and register normally is vertical. So you can also put it horizontal. But horizontal is less used, right? We seldom align our object horizontal. The reason is the screen width is limited, small, right? Small. You cannot put too many things horizontally, but you can put things vertically by using a scroll view. You add in scroll view. Later I show you, we can do a lot of text box, and we can add in a scroll view. We can scroll up and down. Right, so my idea of teaching you linear layout is because you need to use it, right? You may need to use it, So for doing login screen. But if you choose not to use linear layout, it's fine too, So I show you quickly, You don't have to do it together with me, I just show you quickly. If you use constraint, you can use constraint by default. When you create a project, right? you do a project, right? It's always a constraint layout. Constraint layout with a text view. Delete the text view. Let's say I delete. Right? Constraint layout. So if I want to do a login, I can do it very fast, you know. Okay, so like let's say text view, drag it. You see how fast I can do edit text. First one is sign in. This is sign in. So I use username. Username is a text, normal text, and then password. Password. I drag a password from here. Password. Right. This is a text. Right. So I align later. Align later, and then the button. I put a button. Of course, you have some other thing like you want to put some other message there also can. Okay, so this is a title, right? Just drag. Using constraint, drag. Oh, the bottom one I don't want to drag down. I use this one. Let me see. I drag this one first. Constraint it first. Right, I constraint it first. This one, password. Constraint. All of them will go to the middle. Why middle? Because right, they are all same spring power on the left and right. I can move it out a bit. So you can control it here. Yeah. So the bottom, this text field, you didn't have anything to the bottom, right? So you constrain it. Right, you move down, but you move to the middle. So what you do, you can bias it. Bias it a bit. Bias it. Then you can change this ID to login TV. Login. Right, you can set TV login. Right, so you can use actually nothing wrong for you to use constraint layout. I just say nothing wrong. So you can TV login. You can change the size. Change the size of it. This text you put login or welcome. Welcome, something like you can do whatever you like. So Android text size equals to make it larger, 24 SP. So it'll be quite large. Login. Right, of course, I don't want you to do a soft plan one. You should have background and so on. You can go and select some background from internet. Right, you can, or you design your own background. So let me show you. I do something quick. Because we don't have time, so I just do a quick one to show you what you can do for your assignment. Okay, you look for a background, Android background. Based on your design. Right, if you have done your mockup, you should know what background you want. Let's say this is nice background. I like to use this one. Let's say I don't have time to design. Get somebody's background. I save it to my computer. Right, so now I show you how I actually add it to a project. So now I need that background to be in my project. Drawable. I want to import that background into my project. So I can click on drawable, open in Explorer. I want to open it in the Windows Explorer, the folder. This is the folder of my project. So I want to open the folder of this drawable. Right, so I have drawable. So I want, just now I save it to back to the desktop. I just copy into my project. So this background is there already. This background, right? So now I think you know already, right? How to do this. Unless you are new, completely new. So the background is here already. I drag it into my folder, this background. So now I want to apply the background to the entire layout. Right? So I just go here. Right? This Android constraint layout, right? So I just background. Right, background. And then you choose that drawable. Drawable is some background. I call it bg.jpg, the background image, just without the JPG background. Okay, done already. Quite fast. Of course, this one I want to make it white color. White color, text color to be nicer. Color, text color is white. Color white. I make it white. Okay, don't have white. We didn't define the white color in our color. There is no white color in here. Hey, got what color? Got white, white color. So I can just define it. How come it doesn't work? Text color. Oh, alias. I forgot the alias. Alias white. So become white now. Okay. So almost done, right? So I just need to, this one is dot to this one, right? This one is dot to this one. You just check. And then you set your own margin. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so this guy, you dock it to the bottom also can. But you need to define the bias, right? You need to define the bias. So remove this one. All right, so this guy, this button, you can. Oh, okay, it's docked to the middle. This is. Oh, I think I do it wrongly. So just now shouldn't dock like that. Okay, so this one is already fixed. This one is fixed to this one. Okay, here how come cannot bias it? Oh, I need to add the margin. Margin, let's say it's 20 dp. 20 dp, so you can set. Maybe 30 is more. Something like that. And the button, you can dock it here. Right, so this one you can dock it to this. So again, you set a margin, 30 dp. Okay, so quite okay lah. If you do like that, quite fast, quite fast. But this is not the one that I want to teach you for this project. This is already using constraint. So you know how to do it already, right? Okay. So let's define another one. No time already lah, 6 o'clock already. So I just to show you, you can do this quite easily using constraint. So you don't have to always say you must use a very complicated method. But why I want linear? Okay, I can create a new project. Let's say here, new project, activity, empty activity. Let's say this is not the string I want. I can leave it. I use constraint layout here. I can create a new project, activity, empty activity. Let's say this is called main activity 2. Let's say I name it temporarily as a main activity 2. I use Java. I can use Java. I can use Java, or I can use Kotlin also, up to me actually. Let's say this one I use Java. Finish. Right, now it's Java code, right? This one. Right, so it's still syncing. Now I show you how I use a linear layout to do the same. Give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Because linear layout is quite simple. In my opinion, you can do it yourself. You can learn it yourself. Okay, so this is constraint layout, right? So when I generate, by default is always constraint layout. So what you do is you just delete this one. Don't delete the entire, because we still want the namespace. So what we do is just delete this one. Linear layout. That's all. Right, it become a linear layout already. Linear layout is what you put first will be on top, and then what you put later will be at the bottom. So what we do is now I can copy. I can copy the same thing. I can copy this. Just now, right? The background, I just copy this one. I copy here. It will be the same background again. But this time it is linear layout. Okay, so whatever I do just now, just remove this one. You can just copy the entire text view just now. Right here. Just now this text view is in the middle, right? Constraint. So I want to copy this layout, this view. What I do is the same thing, just that now you cannot drag, you cannot constrain it. So put it here. Okay, I take this the text view first. Text view copy. I come here. I put the text view. Right? But now this is irrelevant now. This thing you don't leave it, because this is for constraint. Even though there's no error, but it's not useful. So remove it. So, but if you remove it, there's nowhere to determine the position of this text view, right? Because it's in the layout, linear layout now. You see, it's collapsed to the top. Right? To the top. Right? How to make it to the center? For linear layout, there is something called gravity. Before we end today, I just tell you. For constraint, you use a constraint to control the middle, or whether it's on the left, on the right. You control the margin on the left and right. Then you make it in the center. So for for what you call it, linear layout, right? You use layout gravity center, right, to make it to the center. Not this one, sorry. Gravity is not layout gravity. Gravity, sorry. Gravity, gravity center. How come it's not? Oh, okay. Layout gravity because there's nothing inside. So you go to the exact middle here. So you need to have something called, it's not correct. Oh, I know why. Width, I must make it match parent. Right? Match parent, only the gravity center, you go to the center. Right here, you see, match parent, and then I put gravity here. Gravity, gravity. The layout gravity is the exact gravity, gravity center. Center. So you can see it's in the center. Right, let me remove this one. I don't want this one in the center. I just remove. Right, you go to the top. So how to make it displace down? Right, then you need to define margin. Right, this one, depending on how much, like just now, right, this one. So if you use this one, right, you just now, right, you use constraint, right, constraint. So you have a top right here, right? You can set also the margin. Just that now you constrain to this one, so you pull. Then you have a 675 here, right? Let's say I pull it to the 50 mark. Then I remove this constraint, right? I remove this constraint. Right? You pull to the top, right? So you can define a margin, right? Let's say now 50 dp. So it comes down, right? 50 dp, or maybe 60 dp, or 70 dp, or 80 dp, right? Or maybe longer, 100 dp. Right? So you can position it. If you don't want to pull, right? Use the bias. You can actually define the margin from the top. So this login. Same thing for the other one. This one, the linear layout. Right? Linear layout, you don't have the way for you to use a constraint to constrain it. So what you do is you can define the margin. So it's margin top. Right? Margin to the top. Margin to the top. So let's say I put 100 dp also, 100 dp from the top. You see, 100 dp to the top. Right, the layout, the 100 dp. If I remove this guy, no margin, then you go to the top. Right, so if you remove, put it back. So the rest of it is the same. You just define one by one. Right, the text box, just do a quick one. Going to finish. This one, I can copy the SML. Right, do the same, actually the same. I just copy it. I go to this. Right, just place it down. The one that I place it below this text field, right? You'll be below. Let me remove all this. Irrelevant, remove. Right? This is, let's say this is username. Just a text. Username is a text. Okay. Where is the text box? It's on top. Okay. Cannot see. Because you cannot position it. It doesn't know where to appear. So what happens is, okay, let's say width. Width we define later. Height we define later. You also need margin. Layout margin top. Right, margin to whichever on top here. Maybe give it 30 dp. Between the two is 30 dp. Okay, where is it? This one here is here. Okay, let me see anything I got it wrong. This is username. Edit text username. Sorry, I forgot the orientation. No wonder. Orientation, it doesn't know where to put orientation. Thank you for reminding me of the two. I need to put orientation vertical, then it knows to arrange them vertical. Otherwise, it doesn't know where to put. So vertical, I forget this one. This is the linear layout. Must have a orientation vertical. So if you see, then here. So again, you need to make this center also. Center means center here. Again, you need to put gravity goes to center. Okay. Oh, not this one, not gravity, it's layout gravity. How come it doesn't work that way? Okay, layout gravity. For text box is layout gravity. Check. Layout gravity. Yeah, layout gravity. Because I use here I use wrap content. Unless I use match parent, then I can put gravity equals to center. Then you go to the center. Oh, this is too large, too large. So I don't want that. I go back to wrap content. So this look like the same as what we do using constraint. Quite similar, right? That's the margin you need to define properly, the margin and so on. So here is using linear layout. Linear. So I think I'll continue next week. So next week we are going to try to complete a round of doing the linear login screen, sign up screen, and any screen that needs to have the kind of layout. Of course, it's not as simple as this. We want to customize also the design for our text box. Right, we want to make our text box nice, right, with color, background, and so on. Right, we can make it very nice with border and so on, with icon there on top, and the button with icon. So I will do it next week together with you. That will help you to do your assignment. So the purpose to do this is to learn how to do linear layout. But I try to do a constraint layout first to let you see actually you can do the same thing using constraint. Just that for this kind of design, you more commonly people use linear layout when it is vertically oriented. Right? So any question on this? So for the time being, for this week, finish your mock-up first. Next week, you can bring your mock-up here to the class. Any of you want me to help to suggest to you how to do the mock-up, how to do it in the code, your mock-up. I can see your screen, design for sign in, for sign up, for other screen. So I can suggest to you what kinds of layout you should adopt to make it easy to do that screen. So normally these two, relative linear layout, constraint layout. You can also use another one that we didn't do yet, relative layout, and many others. But if you know linear layout and constraint layout, it's almost enough for you to do many of the different screen already. Okay. So I hope you learn something today. So even though in 2-3 hours, right? So I try my best to cover as many as I can. Right. So if you need more help or guide later, you can personally contact me. Just message me and I can help you with that. You must start to work on it and try it out. Try it out. So any question? Any question? You have any doubt on anything I teach today? And also the assignment, maybe just now the assignment 1 I mentioned, not too clear what you need to draw. I think should be fine, right? You know what to do already. 有问题吗? Okay, for grouping, assignment group, anyone still haven't got a group yet? 有谁是没有组的? Any grouping issue for assignment? I haven't checked the latest grouping. Maybe the next class I'll all good today's content. Okay, thank you. Right, the grouping issue, if you have any grouping issue, you still don't have a group yet until today, right? Please let me know. Don't try to do it alone. If you can, don't try to do it alone. Right? I can help you to match into another group if you ask for help. Right? Then I can try to find which group have less than 3. Then I can add you in if you need the help. Okay. Thank you. Sorry to hold you for extra few minutes. Right? So you can have your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. And for Malaysian, tomorrow is a public holiday in Selangor, in your campus, in Xiamen campus in Sepang. So many of you, I think your class, no class tomorrow. But I will see you again next Monday. Next Monday is 25th. 25th. Next class, 25th. So the recording I'll put on Moodle after this. Give me a while, so that I take the recording later. Right? No question, then see you next Monday, right? 25th of April. Right? Thank you. And have a nice day. Happy holiday. Okay, happy holiday. Right? Okay, bye-bye. So I end the meeting, End the meeting. Okay, thank you. Let me end the recording first.